Peace and love, beautiful master artists. Let's get started with our paper plate dream catcher. So here are the materials. You'll need a paper plate. I got a really durable one, not like one of those cheap ones. I found that it was really helpful to have a durable one, especially with threading. You'll need yarn. You'll need scissors, a hole puncher. You'll also need an X-Acto knife. It works better. You get like really concise lines with an X-Acto knife, and also some feathers and some beads. Beautiful beads. Now this first step, the first and second step of this, definitely get an adult. Do not do this by yourself. An X-Acto knife is exactly what it says. It is very sharp. So please get an adult. Fortunately, I was able to cut this all out for each and every one of you. It took a lot of time, a lot of precision. I love you all so much. So I cut this first part out for you all so you don't have to worry about it. You can even see here, it really does take some time, especially because I got one of those thicker paper plates. We want quality. We want quality, but the other paper plates will do. And you can just use scissors for those too. Beautiful circle. Cut through, and next, hole punching. I have also done this step for you at home. You can do this yourself. The hole puncher that I have, it's, you got to kind of really squeeze. So this might also be helpful and supportive if you have an adult that could do it for you. And I'm just going around. I'm making around about maybe 15 holes, an inch apart. Next, you'll need this step you are going to do yourself. You're going to have at least a yard of yarn. I just kind of guesstimated and did 20 rounds around my fingers. And that was actually a long enough string for me. So the first step here is to thread the yarn through one of the holes, doesn't matter which one you start with, and then tie it in a knot. You want a really great secure knot here. And make sure it's nice and tight. And from here, all you have to do is take the string, the end of the yarn, and go through the holes in whatever direction that you want to. You can make any web design, any design that you like. I made a more traditional web, but like I said, the choice is yours. You can do a traditional web like this. This is super intricate and time consuming. So I don't suggest doing one of the traditional webs. I do suggest that, you kind of just take that yarn, thread it through however you please, and just see what kind of cool designs that you can make on your own. We know that the web in the dream catcher, it symbolizes how the dreams that we dream, all the bad dreams kind of get tangled in the web. So we get to only have these beautiful, amazing dreams at night that fall through the feathers and the beads into the crown of our head. Okay, so if you're doing more of a traditional web here, my first round was simply threading the yarn through each hole in a clockwise flow, And now I'm going counterclockwise and threading the end of that yarn through the loops that are already there. And basically, you're just moving layer by layer. Every loop that you create, you thread your yarn through that loop. And you'll get one of those really pretty webs. So this is from powwows.com. It is believed that dream catchers originated with Asibai Kashi. Hope I'm saying that right. Asibai Kashi, who was known as the Spider Woman. She was a custodian of all the Ojibwe, infants and adults. However, in time, it became a difficult task for her to take care of all the Ojibwe people as they started spreading out across different regions of North America. To help, the Ojibwe women started weaving magical webs for the infants. They used willow hoops and sinew to weave them, and they gifted them to the Ojibwe children as a medium of protection. So these dream catchers are a way of protecting children, adults from bad dreams, nightmares, or night terrors. These charms hung above the children's bed to catch any bad dreams or other harm that might be present. And the Ojibwe tribe, they actually are the tribe that started the dream catchers. It originated with the Ojibwe people, and the dream catchers started being adopted by other tribes and cultures and even other nations. So this adoption was made possible through the process of either intermarriage, trade, or both. Dream catchers became widely accepted by Native Americans in the 1960s and 70s as a result of the Pan-Indian movement. And for land acknowledgement, the Ojibwe tribe lived mainly in Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Ontario, and that's in Canada. So they had a pretty big chunk of land here. So I'm getting to pretty much the last little bit of looping. I'm noticing that here my thread started getting shorter, so I couldn't get to all of the loops in the middle. And to be quite honest, it gets really, I want to say like hectic when you're in the center of your web, because there's so many different little loops, and it can get a little confusing, but I decided to just kind of loop as much as I could without losing so much of my yarn. And now I'm just in the middle tying it. And what I'm going to add in the middle, and you have a choice to do this, I'm going to add a bead. And all you have to do is take the end of that yarn that you use to create your web and get it through your bead. And I tied a few knots here so that the bead could be very secure in the middle. So you'll see me tying a knot kind of over and over, looping it behind as well, because I really didn't want the end of the knot to show in the front of the dream catcher. And as you can see, it's on there, pretty secure. And I'm just pulling it to make sure that it's on there. And this is my last little knot. And next, I took some of the remainder of the yarn from my previously made project. I just took some more little cuts of string. This is about maybe a little less than a foot long. And I'm just putting beads through the yarn. And you can, for my class, you all will have up to 10 beads that you can use, just to make sure that other classes can also get their beads as well. So you can choose to put, the same amount of beads on each string. You'll have the choice of having two to three strings. I recommend 3. It just kind of looks, for me, aesthetically, it looks really nice to have 3 feathers hanging from the bottom of your dream catcher. And here I'm tying the yarn, the end of the yarn, to the spine of the feather. And what I'm doing here is I'm threading a bead through the top of that spine so that it doesn't show or it doesn't look kind of like cricket coming out. And you'll see here, beautiful feather and beads. And I'm just going to do that 2 more times. You can make the string length, the yarn length, the same, or you can kind of create different lengths. My middle yarn is longer than the ones surrounding it. And the 2 that's on the outside of that middle one is the same length. But artist choice, you can choose how long you'd like these strings to be. Just that it's not more than a foot. And I had a little theme to my dream catcher. I really enjoy the color yellow, especially because I did this on a Sunday, and the color for Sunday is yellow. And so I'm kind of dedicating my dream catcher to the sun. I'm decorating now. This is pretty much the last step that you'd have to worry about doing, is decorating your plate. And I'm just coloring the outside with a marker, a brush pen, orange, light orange, dark orange, just to kind of get some layers going there. It's up to you. You can create designs. You can color it one whole color. I was really, really pleased with that beautiful orange. And lastly, I put a quote by Black Elk. And it says here, the first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers. And when they realize at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, and its center is really everywhere. It is within each of us. And our last step here is just putting a string on the top. I looped it through the first 2 holes and just made a knot and cutting off the tips, and that's how you're going to hang it. Super pleased with my dream catcher. I'm super excited to see what you all's look like. Take care.